YouTube, it's Tone. I'm back with another one for you. This one is part of, well, this is the UCC-3. This is the private security agreement that when you do your UCC-1, we already went over what that was in a prior video. If you hadn't seen it, scroll down, check out the UCC-1 example. All this shit is in the one-man outbook. If you want it, send me an email. Shit is free. It's on the fucking house. You have no fucking excuse to not be doing this shit or not knowing how to do this shit. But even better than that, we're gonna run through this shit so you have no fucking excuse of how not to do this shit. This is what I used. I used this as my template. I worded it all in my own words, obviously, and then you have to put your own shit in there because it's your shit. It's different, right? Your name and all that shit is gonna be different because it's yours. So I use this as my template for my security agreement. This is your UCC-3 addendum and addendum and amendment. So you can use them for either or. If you have to amend something, correct something, whatever, this is all getting sent to the Secretary of State after you do your UCC-1 that you're going to have to reference when you're sending this. And you're going to send a copy of your confirmation number that you get from the Secretary of State when you file your UCC-1. You get your confirmation number. Use that as a reference when you send this in for your UCC-3 for them to privately amend anything or to add something to it, okay? So if you just do your UCC-1 initially and you want to amend it, you want to add your private banking numbers that you're going to be using, you just put a lien on your bond, you have your routing numbers and all that you're going to be using with the Treasury Department. You want to send this to them. So what this does here, let's get into this. So what this does is it's listing all of your private property. So what you're doing here, so the Constitution protects your already existing right to contract unlimited. So that means that you can contract with your straw man. So what this is you as a private living man contracting with your commercial conduit, and you're listing it as such. So when you look here, you're going to see your security agreement, non-negotiable. This security agreement is made and entered into on this day, whatever the day is, and between your all capital letter name, which is the debtor, and then it goes lower, it lists your employer identification number, which is going to be your social, and then you're contracting with your upper and lowercase private man or woman, and you're going to list your upper lowercase name here, the family of, secured party, inhabitants. You're not a resident, you're an inhabitant, right? Referred to specifically as secured party and collectively as parties. Together you are both. So you want to know who the two witnesses are in the Bible? It's you. All right, that's the fucking secret. If you really want the secret, the two witnesses in the Bible are you. Collectively, you and your straw man are a party, okay? So, and then you go down here, and a lot of people don't know what I just told you too. So the two witnesses are you. Know that. So, because you can even notarize your own documents and all that shit too, using a stamp and canceling it. You just became the fucking notary. Boom, really that simple. You know what I'm saying? So come on. They try to make shit complicated and all that shit. I just fucking simplify it for you. Fuck all the nonsense. So then now you go down lower. Now therefore the parties, right? The parties, because it's both of you. It's you as a private man and your straw man as well. Agreement. In consideration for secured party providing certain accommodations to the debtor, including but not limited to 1. Constituting the source, origin, substance, and being, i.e. the basis of pre-existing claim from which the existence of the debtor is able to function as a transmitting utility, all right? Serve as a conduit for the transmission of goods and services in commercial activity and interact, contract, and exchange goods, services, obligations, and liabilities in commerce with other debtors, corporations, and artificial persons. Because all these courts and all these fucking fake ass cops and all these people are artificial persons. They're operating in the public. That's why they're wearing fucking costumes. All of them are wearing fucking costumes. Alright? Because they're fucking actors. So number 2, signing by accommodation for debtor. The all caps debtor, UCC-3-419, without recourse 3-415. In all cases whatsoever wherein any signature of debtor is required, right? So you're the accommodating party for the fucking debtor. It's not you. You're the accommodating party in the sense that you sign for it because it can't sign on its own because it has no fucking energy or life. So that's you. You're accommodating. Therefore, you fucking should be compensated for that. So number 3, issuing issuing a binding commitment to extend credit for the extension of immediately available credit, whether or not drawn upon, and whether or not a chargeback is provided for in the event of difficulties in collections, and 4. Providing the security for payment of all sums due or owed or to become due or owed by the debtor. Number 5. Constituting the source of the assets via the sentient existence, exercise, or faculties and labors of the secured party that provide the valuable consideration sufficient to support any contract with the debtor may execute or to which the debtor may be bound to by any person whatsoever. All right, debtor hereby confirms voluntary entry of debtor into the commercial registry and transfers and assigns to the secured party a priority third-party subordinate security interest in the collateral described. And then now we're going to get into what the collateral is. And what this is that you're going to be pledging all your physical, tangible property and all that shit is going to be pledged over to you, and nobody else can use it anymore after this point. Fidelity indemnity bond. Know all men by these presents that, all caps, Aaron Wayne's codes, debtor establishes this bond in favor of the secured party, upper lowercase Wayne, which is yourself, because you need to be compensated for becoming the accommodating party for this particular ens legis or fictional corporate entity. In the amount of present collateral values up to the penal sum of 100 billion, right? This is what I did mine for the payment of which bond well and truly made, the debtor binds the debtor and debtors, heirs, executors, administrators, and third party assigns jointly and severally by these presents. The condition of the bond is secured party covenants to do certain actions on behalf of the debtor as set forth above in the agreement, and the debtor with regard to conveying goods and services and commercial activity to the secured party, covenants to serve as transmitting utility corporation, trade name, right? This also serves as your notice to them that they're no longer authorized to use your trade name or your commercial conduit. Disregarded entity and admiralty vessel, all of which are to be used as a commercial vehicle of exchange. Therefore, debtor, in assurance of the fidelity indemnity, grants to the secured party a priority interest in the collateral described below, located within the state of Washington, the United States of America, within and without all jurisdictions whatsoever, corporate and sovereign, public and private, on land and on sea. This covers every motherfucking possible avenue, okay? This is hitting them in all different angles. They have no excuse and no fucking authority to approach you or encroach on your private contract that you already have by any means. And this covers every single aspect of any angle that they could come at you in, okay? So this bond shall be in full force and effect as of the day hereon until the debtor's fidelity indemnity bond holder, Aaron Waynes, is released from the liability by a written order of the United States government, and provided that said surety may cancel this bond and be relieved of further liability hereunder by delivering a 30-day written notice to debtor. No such cancellation shall affect the liability incurred or accrued hereunder prior to the termination of said 30-day period. In such an event of notice of cancellation, the debtor agrees to reissue this bond before the end of the said 30 days period for an amount equal to or greater than the amount mentioned above. So they have to pay you to interfere with this contract that you have with your straw, okay? Which would be the sum of $100 billion. They can't even enter into or break this contract without fucking paying you first. So if they want to charge you with something, a fucking traffic ticket, gun charge, drug charge, whatever the fuck it is, they got to pay you first. They got to pay you $100 billion, and then they can fucking charge you with that. Is it really worth it? Indemnity clause. The debtor, without the benefit of discussion or division, does hereby agree, covenant, and undertake to indemnify, defend, and hold the secured party harmless from against any and all claims, losses, liabilities, costs, interest, and expenses hereinafter referred to as claims or claim, because that's what they all are. Whatever the fucking corny ass crimes that they're charging you with, these motherfuckers are nothing more than gassed up Walmart employees. And they have claims against your straw man. It's all the fuck that they're doing. All that they're doing. Which claims include, without restriction, all legal costs, interest, penalties, and fines penals and otherwise, suffered or incurred by the secured party in accordance with the secured party's personal guarantee with respect to any loan or indebtedness to the debtor, including any amount the debtor might deem to be owed to any creditor for any reason whatsoever. The secured party shall promptly advise the debtor of any claim and provide the debtor with full details of said claim, which will be a true bill, right? Including a document, corresponding suit or action received by or served upon the secured party. The secured party shall fully cooperate with the debtor in any discussion, negotiation, or other proceeding relating to any claim. So you're willing to accept any charges that the debtor may incur for whatever reason. So you can handle your own commercial affairs without the interference of these fucking Walmart employees. Okay? Obligation secured. The security interest guaranteed herein secures any and all indebtedness and liability whatsoever of the debtor to the secured party, whether direct or indirect, absolute or contingent, due or to become due, now existing or hereinafter arising, however evidenced. So at any point, basically, is what this is saying. Collateral. The collateral to which the security agreement pertains to includes, but is not necessarily limited to, all of the below described personal and real property of debtor now owned or hereafter acquired by debtor in which secured party holds all interest. Debtor retains possession, use, rights, possession, and use of all listed collateral property, and all proceeds, products, accounts, fixtures, and orders therefrom are released to the debtor. Before any of the property and rights thereto listed below or acquired hereafter by the debtor can be dispersed, exchanged, sold, tendered, forfeited, gifted, transferred, surrendered, conveyed, destroyed, disposed of, or otherwise removed from debtor's possession by any third party, the dishonor settlement agreement, bill of exchange number, and there's going to be a bill of exchange that you send to the treasury, held by secured party must be satisfied in full acknowledgement of the same completed. So they need to fucking pay you before they try to fucking play you. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. So number one, all rights to proceed, products, accounts, and fixtures from crops, minehead, wellhead, and transmitting utilities, and etc., including any of the all documents of title. All rights to land, mineral, and water rights, including but not limited to any and all other real estate, as well as cottages, cabins, houses, warehouses, their other buildings, including any and all other residential, commercial, and industrial standing structures, including any and all documents of title. Number three, all rights to income from any source, including but not limited to rents, wages, lotteries, whether earned or to be earned or acquired, as well as any and all bank accounts, checking, savings, stock bonds, T-bills, CDs, including any and all other investments, including but not limited to any and all accrued interest and dividends, which means that you cannot be fucking taxed. You cannot be fucking taxed. All right, this is what the fuck that this is saying right here. And this is touching it on all heads. That's why you got to have your security agreement in place. You got to get that. All rights to precious and semi-precious metals and gemstones, gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, to include any and all bulk stock of the same, and to include any and all related documentations, bill of lading, document of title, etc. Number five, all rights to residential, commercial, or industrial goods, i.e. appliances of any and all kinds, kitchen utensils, electronics, any and all kinds, televisions, radios, computers, including but not limited to any and all related accessories, to include any and all literature, owners, instructional manual, and the like, furnishing of all kinds, including but not limited to linens, blankets, clothes, as well as any other related document of title. Number six, all rights to weapons and ammunition of any kind, sporting and assault rifles, pistols, handguns, strung bows, crossbows, swords, knives, including any and all outdoor camp equipment and survival gear of any and all kind, to include any and all document of title, which means they cannot fucking take your guns. You can do whatever the fuck you want because you have a right to. All right. Number seven, all rights to rolling stock, mechanized vehicles of any kind, any and all forms, to include commercial and industrial cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, farm and construction equipment, including any and all documents of title. Number eight, all rights to obtain and secure any and all documentation of any sort related to the debtor, whether purporting to be criminal, civil, commercial, to include any and all printed, published, typed, written paper, or stored on any and all printed, published, typed, written paper, or stored on any and all other mediums, computer disks, laser disks, microfilms, hard drive, magnetic and electronic memory of any type. Which means that after you send this shit into them, if they have any criminal records, if they have any fucking pictures of you, if they have any fingerprints of you, you're going to start sending these fucking people invoices until they take that shit out of their fucking system, because it is not theirs anymore. All right. Number 9, all rights to obtain and secure any and all biological samples, mappings, physical being, to include any and all stockpiles of said material, as well as any and all DNA, retinal scans, fingerprints, photographs, or any identification of the debtor stored on any and all mediums, computer discs, laser discs, videotape, paper, microfilms, cryogenically preserved tissue and hair samples, to include any and all other related material not specifically named or listed in this relation to identification. So that means that everything here listed, anybody that has your fingerprints, your fucking DNA, pictures, your hair samples, drug tests, anything relating to the fucking debtor, they need to give that shit the fuck up right now. 10, all rights to request, refuse, or authorize the administration of any drug manipulation, material, process, procedure, ray, or wave which might alter the present or future state of the body, mind, spirit, or will by any means, method, or process whatsoever. 11, all rights to exercise freedom of religion, worship, use of sacraments, spiritual practice, and expression without any abridgment of free speech or the title, the right to publish, or the right to peacefully assemble, or the right to petition government for redress of grievances, or petition any military force of the United States of America for physical protection of threats and safety and integrity of persons or property from either the public or the private. All right. So you can call the military if these motherfuckers start playing stupid ass fucking games with you. See what that is? All rights to privacy and security in person and property, including but not limited to all rights to safety and security of all household, sanctuary dwellers, and guests of all papers, effects belonging to the debtor or any household or sanctuary dwellers or guests against governmental, quasi-governmental, or private intrusion, detainer, entry, seizure, search, surveillance, trespass, assault, summons, or warrant, except with proof of superior claim duly filed in the commercial registry by any such intruding party in the private capacity of such intruding party, notwithstanding whatever purported authority for any such intrusion, detainer, seizure, search, surveillance, trespass, assault, summons, and or warrant. Okay, so for them to, because these are all commercial acts, if they have warrants, all of these dumb shits, they need to file that shit in the commercial registry, and they need to pay you first. So any and all other material, immaterial financial assets of any hypothetical personality or value not specifically listed by make, model, serial number, or particular phraseology and expressed included as though were specifically enumerated and encompassed by this agreement. Advisory. The debtor agrees to notify all of the debtor's former creditors as all debtors' wages and salaries, including any and all remuneration of its property of secured party, as well as the collateral mentioned above in the security agreement, and all such personages, and expressly noticed accordingly. The debtor has agreed to be, act, and function in law and commerce as the registered commercial vehicle, i.e. proprietary trade name, the transmitting utility, corporate identity, and disregarded entity of the secured party inhabitant of the Americas by sovereign and unalienable rights secured by, protected by the Almighty Heavenly Father and the Anointed One. Motherfucker, who do you worship? The debtor agrees and is being authorized by the secured party to bring action or suit or process in law in the proper court of venue to recover damages from the state of and any actors, agents, employees, or representatives in connection thereto and in relation to any bar, British Accreditation Registry, association, state, federal, international, as well as any entity in its public and or private capacities or otherwise causing damage of any kind to the secured party and or debtor in any case, as well as specifically third party causing default or dishonor of the security agreement. Right? They can't interfere with your private contracts, and if they fuck with you, that's exactly what they're doing, which is gonna put them in a real bad fucking position. So duly registered with the Secretary of State, Washington State Department of Licensing, Business and Professions, Uniform Commercial Code Division, right? Because that's where you're sending all this, is to the Secretary of State, and thereby perfecting the secured party's interest as holder in due course. Any funds recovered in the action of suit shall be distributed between the debtor and the secured party, as well as their interest shall appear in the security agreement and shall be paid to the secured party until the sum certain not exceeding $100 billion, and the balance shall be paid to the debtor. So any fucking trespass, this is what their fucking bill is gonna be. All right, this is what their bill is gonna be. Can they really afford that, motherfuckers? You niggas are such clowns, you have to take corny ass bribes, small ass bribes at that, from other clowns to even do the dumb shit that you clowns do. Come on. No, you can't afford it. If you want to answer the question, I'll just answer it for you. No, you can't afford it. All costs and counsel fees incurred in the action of suit or process shall be first deducted by any funds recovered in the action of suit or process before distribution is made to either of the parties. In the event that no recovery is obtained in any action of suit, the parties agree that the cost and counsel fees shall be paid by the debtor in the following manner. The debtor may contract in any form payment suitable to all the parties involved without prejudice to the secured party interest. The debtor may represent the secured party interest in all actions whatsoever involving at least one party being a U.S. citizen and or actor, agent, employee, or representative of any corporation or corporate government whatsoever. In any case of diversity of citizenship or in a foreign jurisdiction or venue, the debtor has the right in all interest granted to the debtor by the secured party in this agreement on the financing statement, which is the UCC-1 financing statement. This places a value upon the bonds that you're placing a lien on, which allows you also as well to issue promissory notes based upon the value of your bond, which is proof by your UCC-1 financing statement. Okay. The debtor is authorized to draw upon the secured party's priority tax exemption to post and cover the funds required to properly honor any and all drafts, contracts negotiated, offered to debtor, and create drafts, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances, site drafts, promissory notes, and bonds for a particular purpose, such as discharging public liability or accepting a contract or payment thereof. All right, just putting you into a position to issue promissory notes if you want to make any acquisitions. Okay, because we'll get into the rest later. The security agreement is private and non-negotiable and accepted for value, including all related property and endorsements, front and back, non-pro-tunc, from the December 25th, 1981, and is the secured party private property of the secured party and is not dischargeable in any bankruptcy court proceeding, and the secured party's property is exempt from third-party levy. All right? Cannot be taxed. Exempt from levy. Get at me. Wait till I get my clothing line popping. You guys are going to love this shit. The motherfuckers want public notice. Wear that shit on your chest. Wear that shit on your chest. The security agreement devolves on the secured party's heirs and assigns who are equally authorized upon taking title to the security agreement via non-negotiable contract or any lawful commercial remedy. Lawful public notice. Filing and registration of the security agreement freely entered into by the parties constitutes open and lawful public notice that, number one, the law, venue, and jurisdiction of the security agreement is the finalized, signed and sealed private contract and bond freely entered into between the parties and thereby ratified. Number two, the security agreement is contractually complete herein and herewith and cannot be abrogated, altered, amended in whole or in part without the express written authorization of the parties of or secured party. Number three, the debtor is the transmitting utility and proprietary trade name for the secured party's use in commerce, and all of the property and debtor for the secured property collateral bonded, offered, subsequently accepted for value by the secured party inhabitant, giving the secured party interest in the property collateral as holder in due course. Number four, any authorized use or impairment of the debtor in any manner that might influence, affect, pertain to, or presume to pertain to the secured party interest, personality, rights, or remedies in any manner is expressly prohibited without the express written authorization of the secured party. So you need to specifically put in writing that you agree to any of their terms and or contracts for them to even fucking speak to you. All right? And if they don't have that shit in writing, then you can just fucking tax them just for that. Furthermore, the secured party reserves the right to satisfy any judgment, lien, debt, duty, obligation, account, or contract, whether it be secured, unsecured, or purported to be secured, against the debtor by executing a partial release and assignment, bill of exchange, site draft, and or promissory note against the registered fidelity indemnity bond. No law shall ever be passed that abrogates contracts. This constitutes actual and constructive notice. Ignorance to the law is not a valid excuse. So it don't matter if these motherfuckers act like they didn't know. You already fucking gave them public notice with this document. All right? So no law shall ever be passed that abrogates the contract. And this constitutes actual and constructive notice. Ignorance of the law is no valid excuse. Good faith, security concerns, and other purported excuses will not, cannot indemnify a third party's tortuous All right, so any torts, that's a fucking trespass, interference, causing default. This notice of strict liability to all who are served. Okay, parties' choice of law. By agreement of the parties, this security agreement shall be governed by Uniform Commercial Code 1-102 through 1-107 and UCC 3-419, 10-104, and House Joint Resolution of 192, June 5th, 1933. With all rights preserved without prejudice, without recourse, UCC 1-207, which is now 1-308, and 3-415. The parties have read the security agreement and know and understand its contents completely and agree in full of their own free will. The parties swear an oath and the penalties of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington and the several free United States of America. That this is true, correct, complete, and not meant to mislead. The security agreement is understood by the parties to stand for the life of the commercial bond and the secured party being the controlling party and the holder in due course of the document of title over the debtor, herein registered with the Secretary of State and Department of Licensing. All right? That's where all this shit is going to be sent to after you're done with it. So, default. The following shall constitute the events of default hereunder. Failure of debtor to pay any debt secured hereby when due. Failure of or by debtor to perform any and all obligations secured hereby when required to perform. Number 3, any breach of any warranty debtor has contained within the security agreement. Number 4, any third-party torturous interference and contractual relations, prospective advantages, or causing debtor to default in the security agreement after third party has been given lawful timely notice. Subject said third party to the security agreement and agrees to indemnify charges up to the penal sum of $100 billion and reference in the fidelity indemnity bond under Section 2, page number 2 of the security agreement. Number 5, any third party interfering or causing default as stated in paragraphs number 3 of this section voluntarily waives all privileges, immunities, defenses, and specifically agrees to the subject to the piercing the corporate veil rule with strict liability in their commercial and private capacity, which means you motherfuckers have nowhere to hide. They have nowhere to fucking hide. That's what this shit does. See the power in this? Number 5, any third party interfering or causing default as stated in paragraph number 3 of this section voluntarily waives all privileges, immunities, defenses, and specifically agrees to the subject of piercing the corporate veil rule with strict liability in the commercial and private capacity. Say that shit again. Signatures. The parties execute this security agreement certified and sworn true on the secured party's inhabitants, unlimited commercial liability. Secured party accepts for value all signatures in accordance with the House Joint Resolution, June 5th, 1933, UCC 1-104, 10-104, UCC 3-419. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Executed and signed by the parties, which are yourself and your straw man, okay? That's what the fuck this shit is. So don't listen to all these stupid ass clowns talking about this shit is not real. This shit is real. It is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these fucking clowns. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.